Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And yeah, I ran a little bit late, had some technical issues, but I have repaired them. You might say, Larry, how can you repair them? You're in New York State. Your governor, Kathy Hochul, has said more than once that literally black kids from the Bronx don't know what a computer is. I am a black kid from the Bronx. True. I don't know what it is. So I had to call I had to call my white friends over to fix my computer because, as my governor has said, I'm sorry, my queen, Her Majesty Queen Kathy, first of her name, worshiper of the jab, banisher of businesses, crusher of conservatives. She has deemed that that I don't know what a computer is. So I had to call my white friends over. That's why I'm late. They have come. Thank you, white friends, for coming over and ensuring that I can get my computers up and running. So there we go. It has worked. We are back in action. So today, I wanted to chat about something that happened a couple days ago, but I didn't think it was necessarily appropriate because of all the other things that have been happening, and lots of other things have been happening, as you all know. But I do want to bring up what happened recently, which is my governor, Kathy Hochul, first of her name. She has decided that she is going to endorse, or has endorsed, Zohran Mamdani, the gentleman, as we know, running for mayor of New York City, who is part of the Democratic Socialists of America, an open socialist. And boy, this has been a problem for most Democrats. Now, there's multiple problems here, right? Multiple problems here. Problem number one, if you are a Democrat, you recognize that your party is supposed to lean left, right? You're a Democrat. That's what your party is supposed to do. Okay. Well, Mamdani leans as left as you can lean realistically as a Democrat. You go any further left, you can't be a Democrat. You got to be independent of whatever. That's as far as you can go. So you would think that people would be like, great, this is amazing. We have a left-leaning guy leaning hardcore left. We're all good. No, not at all. The reverse. Because what Democrats actually are, and Republicans too, have the same issue, right? Which is the majority of the Democratic Party and the majority of the Republican Party are establishment. Of course, that's what they are. So if you're an establishment Democrat, you're not a socialist. I mean, you will sometimes cosplay as one here or there. You will sometimes cosplay as one or pretend, that kind of stuff. You will do that sometimes. But no, you can't do that because you got to pretend you're a capitalist, whatever. The establishment's neither capitalist nor socialist. They are cronyists. And whatever gets the cronies cash, whatever keeps the establishment in power, that's what they are. People are always saying, and I hear all the time, Republicans always say this, Kathy Hochul's a crazy leftist. She's a Marxist. She's none of that shit. That's Republican talking points. That's propaganda. She's not. She is whatever gets her elected. She'd be a socialist tomorrow. She'd be a Republican tomorrow. She'd be a whatever it takes. She's like, just like Cuomo was, right? Cuomo, same thing. Cuomo's not a Marxist or whatever. That's Republican propaganda. And that's true. Cuomo is a Cuomoist. Cuomo is a Republican, a Democrat, because that's what it takes to get elected. If he get elected as an independent, as a libertarian, as a green, as a Republican, he'd be whatever, right? But he knew where his bread was buttered. That's why he did it. So that's the issue that she's dealing with. But she did endorse him. But there's a problem how she endorsed him. She didn't say, he's a great guy, love this guy, he's the best, everything's awesome. Oh, no, he didn't do that. What he basically did was say, well, I disagree with everything, but I'll endorse him, and then I'll do it on paper, not in a speech, and I'll put it in the New York Times. So that's kind of like a backhanded, thing. And here's the worst part. Mamdani's not like loving it. He's like, whatevs. Yeah, whatevs. That's what Mamdani's like, whatevs. He doesn't care. Now, he's not endorsing her. And here's worse. She's not endorsing Cuomo. So she puts a knife in the back of Cuomo, which we knew she would do because she never cared anyway. None of them do. So she puts a knife in Cuomo's back. Okay. You might go, well, Larry, why do I care? Well, because what happens if Mamdani still loses? What happens if Cuomo pulls this out? Now, I'm not saying he will. Possible, who knows? Right? What happens if he does? Oh, now what? Now, this might be the fact where everyone just starts dropping out. This is a problem, right? Because her endorsement was so crappy that no one who likes Mamdani is going to think she's good. That's the problem. She did exactly the worst thing she could have done, which is endorse him in a crappy way. She should have either just said nothing or endorsed him with vigor. Just, yeah, he's the guy. Done. The problem is Democratic establishment was so broken by this. This is similar to what happened, believe it or not, with the Republican establishment in 2016. The Republicans thought, no way Trump's going to win. No way. We got this guy. Then he wins like, ugh, now what? Same thing. Democrats said, no way this Mamdani guy wins. No way. Then he wins. Ugh, now what do we do? They had no idea. So they weren't ready for this at all. To be fair, Republicans weren't ready either. But Democrats were not ready for this. So no one was, they were like, well, we'll bring in Cuomo. He'll save us. That was not awesome. But that's what they did. Cuomo will save us. Then Cuomo got his ass kicked. And they were like, that wasn't supposed to happen. Now what? You might think, no, Larry, these people, their establishment, they've got all the plans. Blah, blah. I've met them. They don't. I've met them. They don't. They don't know. And what she did was insanely stupid. If her team agreed to it, which I doubt they did, if her team agreed to it, shame on her team. She probably decided she was going to do this the worst possible way. So you might say, wait a minute, but she doesn't believe in his policies, Larry. How can she endorse this guy to believe in his policies? You could just endorse whatever you like about him. She had to say things like, well, I disagree with this, and I disagree with that, and I disagree with this. Let me show you a little bit of what people are talking about, just so you see. And of course, she then also had to bring in Trump, of course, because you always have to bring in Trump. I mean, Democrats, you have to bring in Trump. Some of you think this Trump stuff, doesn't work. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. All right.
With New York City's mayoral race just weeks away, New York Governor Kathy Hochul endorsing the frontrunner Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani in a New York Times op-ed.
Not in a speech, not in front of his people, not in a press conference, in a New York Times article, which you could read over, make sure you got it right, checked every single thing. Yeah, the worst way of doing it. You should have had a press conference. You should have invited him. Yes, you should have held his hand in the air. This is my guy. That's what you should have done. She didn't. She didn't. Why bother endorsing then? The endorsement means nothing. She's going to try to somehow say, well, I endorsed him. Insanely stupid.
Just this morning, President Trump reacted to that endorsement, calling it a...
Now, this is MSNBC. So the second they say, this is Kathy Hochul, she knows Mamdani, immediately, well, Trump! Immediately, Trump. Andrea brings it up. Thank you, Andrea. You're correct. They hate him so bad, they can't stop talking about the orange man. Yes. Why is that the first thing you do? You don't get the quote. I'm not joking. Look, they didn't get the quote from Mamdani. They didn't get the quote from Hochul. I'm not making this up. You're watching it right here. This is the actual video. So they say, in a shocking thing, Hochul did this with Mamdani. What's Trump think? Yeah. What's Trump think? Because that's what matters. That is what matters. And I know you guys are like, wait a minute. Hold on. Larry keeps talking orange man bad. Here we are. I'm not making this up. This still works every time.
A rather shocking development and announcing, quote, Washington will be watching this situation very closely.
Yes.
Joining us now, political anchor at New York One, Errol Lewis. Errol, Governor Hochul is now maybe the highest ranking Democrat, most high profile Democrat to endorse Mamdani in this race.
True.
What's
Yes.
the significance of Hochul's endorsement?
What's significant about it, Anna, is that she, as the governor, is also the head of the party. So
Also
the
true.
state Democratic Party, in effect, is going to go along with this. And that creates...
I'm not sure that's true. See, what he's going to read in a minute, which is the most important thing, the state doesn't necessarily go along with it, but the state now can. Because the problem is she'd be worried if someone did it behind her back. Yes.
It's a permission structure for all of the rest of the Democrats to say, well, I'm going to go in the same direction as the governor and the state party.
Yes. Kim says, I recall you saying months ago, maybe Hochul will save us from Mamdani. Don't recall how you hope she would do it, though. Yeah, the concept was she will be the one who would push back against him when he wants to do these things. Remember, New York City is very special. It's special in that it's the only city that I don't think there's any other city that I can even think of. I think it's the only city. It's the only city in the country that is not within one county. You may go, why does that matter? Because that means the city is heavily controlled by the governor because it crosses multiple counties, right? Like Los Angeles City is within Los Angeles County. So officially, the mayor reports to the county executive in theory, right? Because they're smaller, right? So the mayor is not as powerful as the county executive. And that's all cities, right? Is it Cook County is Chicago? Is that right? I forget all the counties. Clark is Nevada, whatever. Right? They're all in the same. Yeah. Arizona's Maricopa, is that right? But anyway, they're all within one county. In the case of New York, 5 counties. So the governor has a lot of control. So the governor can step in and say, nope, 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 nope. Not just that, a lot of New York State's infrastructure also touches New Jersey. So the president can step in too. Nope, nope, nope. So that is what I mean by how Hochul could have done it. My concern is, will she not do it now? Will that change? I'm not sure. So, yes, Bronner says, and the chat is equally as entertaining as Larry's views and opinions. True. That is why I like it. Absolutely true. Yes. I love my chat. Absolutely love my chat. Yes. So anyway, let me grab a look up.
He won the Democratic primary. So why didn't she endorse up until now?
Why didn't she?
Well, look, first of all, Mamdani is really not all that well known. So just want to.
Okay, that's some bullshit. Right now, well, stop. People don't know bullshit. I interviewed Mamdani on my show 3 years ago. Stop it. That's a lie. He made that up. I saw his strength before he was even a player. I knew how good he was back then. If I saw it, I'm not the only guy who's only Larry Sharpe knew. Nobody else knew. I wish I was that good. I hope I'm that good. You know what? I take it back. He's right. I'm the only guy who knew. It's just me. I'm that good. No one else knew but me. I'm the only. He's right. This guy is correct. I'm the only guy who knew. I mean, come on, let's be real. So they knew he existed. They knew who he was and what he was doing. They just didn't believe he could win. That's true. They weren't ready for victory, but they knew of him. Of course they did. If I saw him, why wouldn't others? Right? So that's bullshit. The issue is she didn't know if they were going to do, for those of you who don't know, in Buffalo about 4 years ago, 2021, I think 4 years ago, there's a woman named India Walton who actually did the same thing, won the primary in Buffalo, Democratic primary, and she was a hardcore left compared to the standardized Buffalo Republicans. So she was much farther left relative to those Democrats, much further left. And they were like, what? We can't have this at all. We've got to stop this. So the Democrats, some Democrats, and the Republicans in Buffalo, and Republicans can't win in Buffalo, just like Republicans can't win in New York City, right? Same concept. Citywide, they can't win. So Republicans knew that. So they were like, can we still have our crumbs? And then India would have been like, no, you may not have crumbs because I'm far left, crush all of you. And they were like, but we would like our crumbs, sir. May we have some crumbs? That's what they wanted. Democrats said, we will give you your crumbs again. We've been giving you crumbs. We'll give it. You can keep your crumbs. Help us get rid of her. So the Republicans, I'm not joking, dropped out of the race. That's why people thought that Curtis Sliwa would do that, because that's what happened in Buffalo. And the guy who she lost against in the primary ran as an independent write-in. I'm not joking, a write-in campaign in Buffalo. Ran as a write-in. Republican guy dropped out. So the Democrat and Republicans got together to stop her. That is why people thought this could happen in New York City, because it just happened in Buffalo 4 years ago. For those of you who don't know, Buffalo is New York State's second largest city. After New York, then Buffalo. So that's what people thought. Oh, we might just copy Buffalo. What else? Why else would that be important? Why Hochul will think that? Because Hochul's from that area. I think he's from Hamburg, if I'm not mistaken, which is it's like basically a suburb of Buffalo. I mean, not exactly, but basically a suburb of Buffalo. It's very close to Buffalo. So she was probably thinking, oh, that'll happen. I'll keep my mouth shut. Once they figure out who's going to be the guy, it's going to be Adams or it's going to be Cuomo or whoever, I'll get behind that person. That's why everybody was quiet. He's saying, well, did you know? That's horseshit. The reality is they didn't know. How were they going to figure out how to stop Mamdani? That's the truth. They were waiting. And the problem is, as I tell you all the time, politics is petty. It's petty. And I know a lot of you think, well, no, they got plans and people know and there's stuff and they're playing chess. None of these knuckleheads are playing chess. All of them are playing checkers. If they're lucky, half of them don't even know what they're playing. Some are playing, they're playing Connect Four when someone's playing chess. They have no idea. And they're petty as hell. So Cuomo was like, to hell with you people. I'm Cuomo, damn it. My dad ran this place. So did I. I got to bridge them after my family. I'm going nowhere. Adams like, you don't give me something, I ain't going. In fact, you don't give me what I want, I ain't going. So that happened. And Slee was like, I've been fighting for this city for 50 years, which is actually true. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. All petty. And they were like, we're staying. And she didn't know that. She wasn't sure that was going to happen. So she was like, oh, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. That's why all the Democrats kept their mouth shut. They were seeing who was going to be the winner. So what does this actually mean? She says, what's it mean? He doesn't answer because he's clueless, doesn't get it. What does it actually mean? It means that Kathy Hochul believes no deal is going to be made. That's what it actually means. For those of you who don't get it, why would you do it now? Because her and her team believe no deals. Adams says it's not going to drop. Cuomo's not going to drop. That means Mamdani wins. Now, there's one other possibility. If her team is savvy enough, and they might be, she isn't. Her team might be savvy enough. Some of her consultants might be to say, if we do this, that may force other people to see what I'm seeing and go, oh my God, Mamdani is going to win this thing. And then force Democrats to do something crazy to stop this, right? Force Trump to do something, force their hand. What she does is she forces their hand. Here's the problem. This was 4 days ago. Nothing's happened yet. And again, I would say the same thing. You have to wait till the weekend. Why? Because the weekend is Sunday news shows. And you might go, Larry, I don't watch Sunday news shows. I know you don't. Most people don't. But you know who does? The political class. They all watch Sunday news shows. I know, I do too. They all watch it. If we don't get some type of announcement by the Sunday news shows about how, Eric Adams is dropping out, or I don't know, Cuomo is dropping out, or whatever. If we don't get some type of news shock by Sunday, done. That's gonna be the time, by Sunday. And so she's probably thinking, her team's probably thinking, now it becomes basically, as the saying goes, should have got off the pot right now, because she just endorsed him. So either should have got off the pot, one or the other. You have to, because her endorsement actually means nothing other than that. It's not like a bunch of people go, oh, well, now she's endorsed Mamdani. Okay, let's all vote for Mamdani now. Her endorsement means absolutely nothing. She's not very popular in the state. Now, what will happen? To his point, the part that he is correct is when he says it gives permission for others. And some Democrats in the state are popular. If those Democrats now decide to go, well, I'm going to endorse Mamdani, I'm going to endorse Mamdani, that may affect people. That's possible, but not her. I hope that makes sense in the details of how this works. That's the inside info on that piece. So
personal level. I mean, I talked with some surprisingly active Democrats who said they'd never met him. They'd never talked with him. The Queen's Democratic chairman said he'd never had a conversation with him.
That's all bullshit.
There's that. And then there's this question about where this fits into one's politics. Kathy Hochul is up for re-election next year. She and her advisors, I'm sure, had to try and calculate, what will this mean for us? Where are we? Where do we need support?
Not at all. And be very clear. Not at all. Kathy Hochul is in absolutely no political trouble at all. You will hear Republicans say she is. That's Republican propaganda. She is in no trouble whatsoever. None. Internally, all she has is Delgado. Delgado, no one knows who the hell Delgado is outside of like his district. They have no idea who the hell he is. He has not raised much money relative to her. He's hardly campaigning at all. He should have been a campaigner like there's no tomorrow. He's not. Delgado was only running against her in the primary so that he can get some name recognition so he can run for Senate. That's the reason why. That's it. He wants to run for something else, or maybe get a cabinet position if some Democrat wins in 2028. Delgado is running this for the future. He has zero chance of beating Hochul. None. Hochul will win the Democratic primary. Guaranteed. I'll bet anybody any amount of money, unless she drops out. That's my exception. If she drops out, obviously. If she doesn't drop out, she wins. No one can challenge her who can win. No one. She's the number one shot at doing it, and she'll be able to do it. There's no way she cannot. Not just that, she is the job giver. How many times have you seen me do Tuesdays with Kathy, Wednesday with Kathy? when I show you how much money she's giving out for jobs everywhere. She is the job. She's better than Cuomo. She is better than Cuomo. She learned locally. Cuomo didn't. Remember, she's been at every level. She's been at the local level in Erie County. She's been at the national level. She was a congressman in Western New York, congressperson in Western New York, lieutenant governor, and then governor. She has been at every level, grifting at every level. She knows politics. She isn't that bright herself. She isn't. I mean, relative to most executives. Most executives are very smart. Congresspeople are often dumb as rocks. But executives, mayors, governors, presidents are usually very smart. Relative to them, she's not that bright. She's very mediocre. She's good as a congressperson. I'm not trying to insult congresspeople, but it's just true. I'm just saying that's how it actually works, right? So she isn't that bright. Her team's mediocre because she's too petty to pick a good team. That's her problem with that. And on top of that piece, she knows how the system works. That's how she got to lieutenant governor piece. That's how she's got where she is. She is an operator. She's a good operator. That's her skill set. She's in zero chance of losing the Democratic nomination. So you might say, and Frank brings this up, Frank says, Sienna poll has Hochul in the lead. But then again, the poll is taken before Mamdani endorsement. And Sienna always bends their polls to have the most socialist candidate. I'm not sure we're going with this. Do you mean Mamdani's in the lead or she's in the lead? Mamdani is in the lead right now. And the odds are very high he's going to win if no one drops out. If someone drops out, it's possible he'll lose. Possible. Without it, I think he's going to win. And with her doing it, that means her team believes that. Now, if you're talking about Hochul being in lead, Hochul is killing Stefanik in the race. Stefanik is insanely unpopular. I know you guys are like, what? But Larry, I'm a Republican in New York and I want Hochul to lose. I know, and it ain't going to happen right now. Something better change. Something better change. Stefanik, if you go back about a month ago, was 14 points behind Hochul. Hochul is insanely unpopular. And Stefanik's behind her. Last poll, 20 points behind. She's getting worse. Stefanik's getting worse. Yes, she's losing worse. And still Stefanik has no policy, no nothing. She's following the same Republican talking points as every Republican has for the past 20 years. Two things. Democrats, you bad, which we all know. And more cops. Okay, that is, I can't pay my rent on more cops. I can't get educated in more cops. My business can't succeed with more cops. That isn't the answer. That's all she's doing. Law and order. Horse shit. Nobody, no non-Republican cares about that. She will win Stefanik unless something crazy happens. If she runs, she will win the Republican nominee. Same thing. Why? She gets endorsed by Trump. New York State Republicans still love Trump. That hasn't changed. That isn't the problem. Stefanik is popular amongst Republicans. That's still true. Republicans still like her, still support her, and support Trump. That's true. The problem is Republicans in my state are outgunned 3-1. So even if every Republican votes for Stefanik, she still loses. That's the problem. She doesn't cross over. Independents don't like Stefanik. Democrats hate Stefanik because she tied to Trump. A poll I saw, I heard about, someone told me about, was that over 2/3 of New Yorkers, when you poll them this question, if Donald Trump endorses a candidate, are you more or less likely to vote for that candidate? 2/3 of New Yorkers or more consistently say less likely. That's New York State. That's how it works, Frank. No shot for Stefanik. I don't mean to be mean. No shot. It's a fantasy. Zeldin was a fantasy. I know people don't like that either. He was a fantasy. I told people that exactly was fantasy. Stefanik's a fantasy. That's not a thing. Just being forward. It's not a thing. Anybody want to put some money on that? I'll put money on it now. I'll put money on it right now. Not a thing. So, yeah. Just thought that piece was interesting. And I want to grab one more if I could. This is another piece. If I could pick this piece. This one's from CBS. This is not MSNBC, which of course would just go Orange Man Bad all day. This one should not be Orange Man Bad all day because it's not MSNBC. So let's hope that I'm correct with this one.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul encouraging President Trump to let New York City mayoral election play out fairly without intervening. This after the governor.
Okay, I was wrong. Literally, the first guy at least said, the first person said, Hochul endorsed Mamdani, said that first, and then went to Trump. This dude went right to Trump. Did you notice that? It says, if you read it, for those of you watching and listening, it says Hochul endorses Mamdani. It says that. What does he lead with? Trump says, yeah, led with Trump. I know you guys think I'm teasing when I say orange man bad. Here's the evidence. Mainstream Democratic media still just says again and again and again, orange man bad. That's it. Who needs policies when I can just yell Trump is evil? Who needs that?
Explained her endorsement of Zohran Mamdani, which is getting reaction on both sides of the aisle tonight. But will it make a real impact at the polls both this November and next November? That's what we're asking tonight.
Okay, tell me.
I think what put me over the top was this discussion about Donald Trump inserting himself into our local election.
I want you to hear what kind of endorsement that is. So, why did you endorse Mamdani? I think what made me do it, she said it, you heard it, is because Donald Trump, because the orange man is bad. And what I require is yelling that orange man is bad. It wasn't, and this is the craziest part, it wasn't because I think he'll make the city better, because I think he'll make it safer, because does she say that? Because I think he's smart. No, because the orange man is coming. The orange man's coming. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to like Trump. I'm not asking anybody to like Trump. I don't care if you like Trump or not. I don't care if you like Trump or not. That is my point. I don't care. I'm talking about a local race in New York City and then a governor race the year after. And the number one thing you're talking about is friggin' Trump. It's friggin' Trump. Why don't you look, whether you like Mamdani's policies or not, and clearly I don't. Obviously I don't. It doesn't matter. What Mamdani is doing very well is he's actually addressing them. Now, you might not like his policies, but what do I say here on the show almost every week? When people have the option of no plan or a bad plan, when they're in trouble, they take the bad plan. So Mamdani, he got plans, lots of them. Free buses, come on, free buses. What's Cuomo got? Cuomo got nothing. So I got nothing or free buses. You know what? I'll take free buses. Let's see how that works. And you might go, but Larry, the logic behind it is blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I need help. Cuomo got nothing. He got free buses. I'm going with free buses. We'll figure out what's going after that. That's how that's working. I wish it wasn't that simple, but it is. Her answer isn't, I love the free buses or whatever. Look, her answer is, orange man is still bad. So there's that.
Governor Kathy Hochul endorsing Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani for New York City mayor, choosing the New York State Assemblyman over former Governor Andrew Cuomo and current Mayor Eric Adams, who both.
Now, I'm not surprised that she would want to stab Eric Adams. They never got along, and that's fine. But she stabbed Cuomo. Eric Adams is clearly finished. Like, he's done. You're not going to see him running for something. He might get some position someplace, whatever. Maybe ambassador to Turkey could work very well for him. Something like that, maybe, right? He might be something like that, whatever. Possible. He might get some job like that somewhere. He might get some consulting gig somewhere. Fine. He ain't running for something again. He's done. You think Cuomo's done? And he's in your party? And people still like him? You better hope you finished him off. And that's the problem. You better hope you finished him off. You better hope this ends Cuomo. Because if it doesn't, you just made Cuomo an enemy. He's in your party. You probably don't like that.
Ran and lost to Mamdani in the Democratic primary.
Know that I could work with an individual who will stand up to Donald Trump.
I can work with an individual who will stand up to Donald Trump. Do you get what I'm talking about here when I keep complaining about this shit? This is the governor saying this. She didn't say, I can work with an individual who loves New York City, which honestly, I believe that Mamdani does. I've met him. I know him. I honestly think that Mamdani is a true believer. He honestly believes what he's saying is going to work. Now, that may scare some of you, but I think it's true. He's not doing this because I'm going to hurt people. I want to punish. No. He believes it's going to work. I mean, he's wrong, but it doesn't matter. He believes it's going to work. Why wouldn't she say that? Why wouldn't she say, hey, I'm endorsing because I can work with a guy who can get stuff done because she can't be seen as following those policies. Because when they fail, and she knows they're going to fail, she has to be able to distance herself. Or when she tries to stop them, which she still may try to stop them, she has to be able to distance herself, right? Well, I just supported him when he fights Trump. Otherwise, I say no to everything. She might still do that. She might still be our savior. Oh, God, I can't believe I have to say that. But it's possible. That's how bad New York State is. New York State's in so much trouble that this person might be the only person to save us. Why am I still here?
Shoulder to shoulder with me.
A lot of people have been wondering if, when, or how it would happen. She does it via New York Times op-ed. Your thoughts?
Well, I think that these days endorsements, frankly, don't count for very much. I don't think too many voters are going to be swayed one way or another by Kathy Hochul endorsing anybody in the New York City mayor's race. Just like I don't think Elise Stefanik endorsing Curtis Lee was mattering.
What you think
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, true.
of her endorsement and the timing in which she did so?
Well, politics is nothing if it's not about timing. I think, endorsements don't make or break candidacies, but given Mamdani's, need to have some credentializing somebody.
This is the point. He's right. Mamdani is searching and screaming for legitimacy. That's accurate, right? He's young, which you might think that's unfair. I get it. But when I ran as a libertarian, I needed it too, right? If you're not part of the establishment, you're looking for legitimacy. But Trump needed it too when he first started running. He needed it too. The advantage Trump had, of course, is in 2016, he was super popular and well known. That helped to make him legitimate. He was a TV star. All those things helped tremendously. But imagine if he wasn't. Look at RFK Jr. As much as he was looking for legitimacy also. When you're not one of the cool kids, you're searching for legitimacy. So that part is true. It does help with a little bit of legitimacy. It does.
From the elected Democratic wing to say I'm on your side, I think carries a little bit more weight.
Top Democrats from New York, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Kirsten Gillibrand, still not endorsing Mamdani at this point.
God, and they're all just so terrible. The Democratic Party is run by New Yorkers. It's just so terrible. Like we're just trashing stuff. God, it's just so bad.
North Country Republican Elise Stefanik, also potentially Hochul's gubernatorial opponent in 2026, saying that Hochul, quote, bent the knee for this raging anti-Semite communist.
You see, the Republicans are no better. They're no better. But Larry, Republicans, what is her answer? Her answer isn't, let me give you a policy, let me give you an idea, let me give you a vision, let me give you a hope for the future of New York. No, her answer is, she bent the knee to the communist. That's what all Republicans in my state always say. Everyone's a communist, everyone's a Marxist. And I wonder why we lose every year in New York State. Because that's the shit you guys talk. That's why. Because you talk that stupid shit. That's why, Elise, your team is garbage. The problem is she doesn't have an actual policy team. Well, how do I know that? None of them do. They don't have that. They instead have communications teams. And they're the same communications team they've had for 20 years, which is just other side bad. So her communication team says, call it a communist, call it a Marxist. She goes, that sounds good. And she goes out and says that stupid shit. Who was moved by that? Nobody, except Republicans who are already going to support her. So she solidified the base. Now, why do they care about solidifying the base? Why? You might go, Larry, that seems stupid. Why would Republicans want to solidify the base? That's dumb. They can't win an election with that. Because they're not going to win an election. They know that. If you solidify the base, what happens? You raise money. They write you checks. The Republican Party right now in New York State is about grifting. It's about making money. So they yell communist, Marxist all day long, more cops. They scream that garbage. Republicans who love that go, yeah, that makes sense to me. I'll give you money. And they give them money, and then they lose. That's been true for the past 23 years. I wish I was making that up. 23 years, the New York GOP has been doing this, and people are still believing it. Well, actually, some aren't, because now Elise is losing even more. She's down 20 points now. A Republican cannot win this thing. It is impossible. The numbers just aren't there. So, yes. I think I told you a story. I was in Lewis County about 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. And that's part of her district. So I go there and I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about at least, Stefanik running for governor? And more than one person said, Larry, we see you more than her. I don't live in Lewis County. I live in Queens. And the people in Lewis County, for those who don't know, that county is like one county away from Canada. That's how I think it's Jefferson and then Lewis, if I'm not mistaken. So it's Canada, Jefferson, Lewis. That's how far it is up north. It's one county away from Canada. And they were like, we see you more than her. Yeah. You see where I'm going with this?
Mamdani's a socialist. But the question then becomes, what's this mean for Kathy Hochul's identity and position as she looks to that 2026 gubernatorial race?
The lion's share of the votes for a Democratic primary come from downstate.
Yep.
And that's something that she's always been trying to kind of unlock for her.
Oh, sure.
Well, that's a valid point, right? She wants to get more stuff from downstate. That's true. Because as I mentioned, she's from Western New York. She's from Erie County. So, which again, for those who don't know, that's the second most Western county in New York State. The first is Chautauqua County. That's basically Ohio. That's how far away that is. By the way, Lucille Ball, the famous female comedian, was born in Chautauqua County. So yes, and Erie's right next west. Erie is literally right next to Niagara, which is by Niagara Falls. So yes. And so she's far away from this.
So all Democrats be more like Zohran. I don't see her doing that here with this endorsement. I think what she's doing is continuing with the line of messaging that she's been adopting here in the last couple of years and fitting Zohran into that.
CBS News did put out a new poll today. In it, they found 48% of voters want the next mayor to oppose.
Thank you. Oppose Trump. New York City, 48 wanted to oppose Trump. 27 neutral. Only 25% want the mayor to work with Trump. That's New York City. This is why Elise Stefanik cannot win. That right there, that poll, which is common, that's why Stefanik cannot win. So yes, I just thought that was kind of. Let me grab some comments. You guys give me a lot of comments. I do want to grab some comments. So yeah, all righty. Let's see here if I can grab some more comments. Here we go. All right. Kim says it's rigged. I'm glad I don't live in New York. I ask myself that question sometimes. Do I really want to be here? And so yeah, but I am. I love New York. I do. I still love New York, and I want it to change. So yes. Rick says, is tonight's question about morality or political expediency? Use those two to align. They don't. It's always about politics. There's no morality in what she did. There is not. It's only political expediency. I think it was a mistake. I think her endorsing him, unless the goal was to force Democrats to do something, it is possible that her people believe that. If that's true, then it may be a good, again, Sunday will tell us. If by Sunday something happens, like, Sliwa drops out or Adams drops out and Cuomo takes if something like that happens, I don't see that happening. I don't. If I had to guess, I would guess that does not happen. But I think that we would know if something's going to happen, it happens by Sunday. Then something happens and then all of a sudden, okay, that would have worked. Otherwise, I don't see it. And that would be some chess. And they don't usually play chess. They play Connect Four, usually, if that. Maybe. They're probably playing marbles. I don't know what they're playing. It's not chess. So whatever they're playing. So that's what I think. I think she made a mistake. I think she shouldn't have done it. I think she just stayed out of it or jumped on the train early. An early gamble would have been a good idea. An early gamble. That's my opinion, right? An early gamble. Right after Mamdani wins, gamble and endorse him immediately. Get behind him with vigor, say, and just do it based upon the party. The party matters. Doesn't matter if he's a socialist or not. He's a Democrat, better than Republicans. Orange man bad. We hate Republicans. Just get on board and just do it because it's party. And that's it. You don't do it because of individual. If I was advising her, if she had hired me to advise her, I don't know why she would ever do that. But if she did, I would have said the second Mamdani won, I've been like, endorse him right away. Go by party. Do that. You're loyal to the party. You can't lose on that. Be loyal to the party. A massive gamble. What does that do? One of two things. If the governor comes up right away and makes an endorsement, one of two things happens. Everybody's shaken and they move against him immediately, or they surrender. Either way, you win. You win either way. You win either way. And you endorse early and then never say anything ever again. You endorse early and walk away. Why aren't you supporting Mamdani? I am. I endorsed him like I was the first person to endorse him. What are you talking about? Done. And if he wins, his people love you because you endorsed him early and with vigor. If he loses, you're like, I just endorsed him because he was a Democratic. What do you want to do? I'm following the party. I'm loyal to the party. That would have been the smart thing for her to do. But again, her team isn't that good. So, and they were just waiting for everyone else to do it. They're all establishment. They wouldn't have figured that out. That was the actual right move for her. Now that she's already screwed it up, do nothing. Just say, look, this is, and be honest. Say, I'm torn here. And this is how you do it. You do it by party. The way to stay out of this, and this is what she should have done, Rick. And then she didn't ask me for they should have asked me. I would have told her. The way to start is to do this. Have a press conference and be very forward. Make it official. I know that Mamdani is Democratic nominee, and I would have endorsed him. However, Cuomo is still running. Cuomo is my former mentor. I have loyalty to him. I was lieutenant governor. He picked me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Cuomo. I have a personal issue here. And because of that, because Cuomo's still in, I can't endorse anybody. I can't endorse Cuomo because he didn't win the nomination, and I can't endorse Mamdani because Cuomo is still in. I have a personal issue. I can't endorse anybody. Done. She's done. Finished. Over. She could have done that shit months ago. Once Cuomo said he's still in. Done. She's finished. Safe. And now she cares about the individual and her relationship, and it spins perfectly. You're going, Larry, that's brilliant. This is what I do. They don't listen to me. They don't listen to me. I could have hooked her up. Kathy should have hired me. I could have hooked you up. That's how you deal with those issues. Either one works. You do it early. You say, I can't because I care. I'm loyal to Cuomo because he was there for me or whatever. That horse shit. Some people beat you up, but so what? You beat him either way. But now at least you're doing a loyalty thing. Or you're loyal to the party. Either way, you're loyal. So, yes, a smart move would have been that. The problem is they were all looking for a way to get on the right side. Just, no. My idea is the right idea. They should listen to me. So, Phil says, being governor means never having to say you're sorry. True. That's accurate. It does mean that. I wish it didn't, but it does. It also means I can punish anybody I want. It does mean that too. Both of those things are true. But you might say, wait a minute, Larry. This New York City thing is special. True. It is special. Absolutely is special. So how do you understand how New York City works? Well, you can listen to me talk about it because I talk about it all the time, but there's someplace else you can find this out. Do you know where? Oh, yes, it's civil. Of course it is. There's always something special on civil. I say it every single show. Why? Because it's true. Every single time you find something interesting on civil. And this one here, this one I like. This one is a special roundtable from Reason talking about the corruption in New York City, talking about what was happening back with Eric Adams back in the day. So now you can see what's going on. And this was over a year ago. So they were squared away already. This is the roundtable. I'm probably here.
I am Matt Welch, joined by Nick Gillespie, Peter Suderman, and Catherine Mangu Ward. Hello, married people, and Mazel Tov to Nick Gillespie. Please clap, listening audience, for the newly married Senior Gillespie.
He is married, yes. I know his wife. I had her on my show. She's actually very lovely.
In parts of Florida as well, getting absolutely hammered by Hurricane Helene in ways that we.
Now, why do I show you this? Because what's going to happen is they're going to talk about it. They're not just going to complain. They're not just going to scream Orange Man bad, right? They're not just going to scream he's corrupt. They're going to talk about what happens in New York City, why it happens that way, and all those things. You find this on Civil all the time. You also find some very special shows. Some shows that I did with the We Fix It Wednesday series. There were six total, 6 or 7. I forgot which one. Only on Civil. You can go check those out only on Civil. You can't find them even on my website. See that? You can't find them on my YouTube page. Wait a minute, Larry. I can't. You cannot. Only on Civil. CIVL.com. When you sign up, click that code Larry, Larry. You get 50% off for the entire year. You might go, What? Yes, the entire year. $25 for the year. Larry, I can't do another $25 a month. I didn't say per month, wise guy. I said per year. $25 for the entire year. And every single time you see me do a show, I'm showing you something cool and civil. It's a steal. It's a steal. You giving them $25 for a year, you're robbing them. They should call the cops on you. You should go to jail. That is how much you are robbing civil for just $25 a year. You should go to jail. I'm not going to put you in jail, though. Put in code Larry. No one goes to jail. Why go to jail? Instead, $25 a month, CIVL.com, code Larry, $25 for the entire year. Watch all the cool things, plus my special series, which is on there, which is We Fix It Wednesdays, 6 shows, only there, no place else. Check that out if you would. Civil, where you have real conversations, civil conversations, upgrading civilization without, here's the key, without the conflict machine. Actually showing how people can respect each other with real human respect, back and forth, and getting real information so you make good decisions in your life and in government. See how that is? Amazing. I know it's amazing. It is. Absolutely. So check that out if you would. So Mike Voss in the house. He says, Hochul is hitching her wagon to Mamdani because polling shows a sure win, and she's a boost for her governor run. Has nothing to do with Mamdani nor public, self-serving all the way. It is self-serving, but none of that stuff's true. She's not hitching her wagon to Mamdani. She's not. She doesn't need him. Polling, she's winning in all the polls handily, all of that stuff. I think what she's trying to do is now solve a problem. And the problem that she's having is she looks indecisive. She looks weak. And she doesn't want to encourage, this is your polling point, you're right. She doesn't want to encourage people to go against her, right? And that will encourage guys like Delgado and such to go against her. It might encourage someone else to run against her. Now, does she actually want somebody from the far left to run against her in the primary? Yes, she does. Because then Delgado has no chance. Zero chance. I mean, he already has zero chance. He has negative chance if someone else runs, right? Actually, if someone else runs, Delgado will do worse, and therefore he won't even be able to be popular for his, soon Senate run or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it is self-serving. I agree. She doesn't care about Mamdani. I think that's correct. She doesn't care at all. So yes. Rick says, I thought being a sociopath means never having to say sorry. Not true. Sociopaths say it often. Remember, it doesn't mean anything for them. A sociopath will say whatever it takes. They'll happily say sorry if that will get you to do what they want. They don't mean it, and they'll slap you right back in the back. So yeah, that's how that works. So, any case, all righty. Let's see here. Phil says Larry's never late. He arrives precisely when he intends. I like how that sounds. I don't think it's true though, but I'm gonna just say yes because yeah. Patty says word in my circles is she is trying to shake up the party. Shake up the party. As in Hochul shaking up the party or Stefani shaking up the party? I'm not sure why one would think that. Hochul's doing just fine. No need to shake up the party for her. She's doing just fine. Unless she's honestly considering a presidential run. I mean, if that's the case, she just keeps fighting Trump, and then Democrats will love her for that. I guess if she's considering that. I mean, she might be considering that. She does not have the charisma for it. It doesn't mean she believes that. She probably does believe that she does have the charisma for it. That'll be my assumption. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. Phil says, at least Stefanik, the congresswoman from upstate New York, who's talking about running against Hochul. Yes. And she might do it. I hope she doesn't. Andrea says, she also thinks she needs to learn how to swim. True. She cares about black kids. She does, Andrea. She does. She wants to teach us how to swim and use computers. That's true. Both. Yes. Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully I'll learn both at least. All righty. Walk down here. Danny in the house. Good to see you, Danny. Glad you're here. I'm absolutely glad you are here. So yes. All right. We went over that piece already. Went over that. Oh, good. Wow, you guys are going back and forth a lot. I do appreciate that. All right. Bronner says, as many of you know by now, I'm a devout anarchist, but I truly enjoy this live stream each evening. Beats the hell out of the shit-slinging monkeys on the social media. True. That is accurate. That's true. Yes. It does beat it. We are better. We are better than that. We are absolutely better than that because we actually go back and forth to talk about things. And I also give you some inside information. Frank says, Hochul's hardcore left in New York City as she joins Mamdani to defund the police gang. No, she's not. She's not. But enough to say she funded a robot canine to enhance. Thank you. She's not hardcore left. She's not. She is whatever it takes. You've just proved it, Frank. But when she's upstate, she funds robot canines to enhance police enforcement. But when she's down, she joins Mamdani to fund the police. She's whatever it takes. Now, to be clear, would she be hard left? Absolutely. Would she be a Marxist? 100%. Would she be a capitalist? 100%. She is whatever it takes to stay. Would she be hardcore defund the police? Yes. Would she be hardcore give all the money to the police? Yes. She is whatever it takes to be there. Yes. That's the piece. She's actually not hardcore left. Republicans always say that's not true. But again, would she be that? Yes. She would absolutely be a Marxist in 5 seconds if she thought it would get her elected. Of course. She would use anything. Yes. Kim says, I could not be a politician. No way. Too petty. It's exhausting you from the sidelines. Kim, why do you think so few people do it? Why do you think most people who aren't raised in this shit leave? I'm the nutty one. I'm the one who stays. The reason why I know so much and would tell you so much is not because I'm super smart. I mean, I clearly am super smart, but that isn't the reason. The reason is because I've been here for so long. I keep running. I stay involved in this horrible sewer. And one of the reasons why I stay, Kim, this is true. I'll give you guys a bit of inside baseball why I ran for office. In 2016, I ran to try to become the Libertarian Party's vice presidential nominee. I lost to Bill Weld in 2016 at the convention by 31 votes. Not that I'm counting. Not that I don't care. I don't care, Kim. You care. I don't care. 31 votes. I'm not counting. Stop counting, Kim. Did I ask you to count, Kim? Stop counting. So 31 votes. Not that I care. Not that I'm bitter. I'm not bitter. You're bitter. 31 votes. Not that I'm counting. But I lost that election. If I didn't tell you by 31 votes. I didn't make it. So I wanted to go off and still help. And I helped Gary Johnson raise a lot of money. I was his surrogate in the media. I did press hits with him. I debated in his stead here in New York City when other people came. I did all that kind of whatever I could. I would literally, the Johnson campaign would call me up and say, hey, Larry, tomorrow, can you come down to DC and run a fundraiser? I would literally cancel my entire day. And I'm a consultant. Back then, I was still a consultant. I would cancel my entire day. Get on the train in the morning, Excella, head down to DC, raise money for him, and then train back up. All on my dime. I took none of that money. No cut. I remember one time I raised like 40 grand for him. Just went down to DC. I paid for the train, lost my entire day, did that. I was hardcore. This is 2016. I was hardcore. I was like, I'm this guy. I really believed, Kim, that Gary Johnson was going to get 5%. I thought he'd make 5%. I really did. A lot of people did. I wasn't the only one. I really believed he had and I think he had a shot. Errors were made, obviously, but I think he honestly had a chance at getting 5%. And why does that matter? For those who don't know, 5% means if you do that, you qualify for matching funds in the next cycle. So now the Libertarian Party in 2020 could have gotten huge amounts of dollars because of Gary Johnson in 2016. That's what I hoped. I mean, could have got $10 million to run for president. What a change that would have made for the Libertarian Party. I thought that was going to be a good thing. That's what I wanted to do. Obviously didn't work, but I was trying hard for it. After that happened, I was disheartened, obviously, but whatever. And I was considering leaving New York State because I was tired of New York State back then. 2016, I was tired. And I went down in 2017. I went down to North Carolina because I need what I do for a living as a consultant. I need big business. I need either big banks or big companies or big tech or big law firms, something. I need big companies to pay my fees. Otherwise, that's how I make my money. So I thought Charlotte, a lot of big companies there. I head down there, went to Charlotte. I realized I could sell my shoebox of a house in Queens, buy a mansion in North Carolina, still have money left over, less taxes. It's great. Well, why not move? Because I got angry. I said, why do I have to leave my beautiful state? Why do I have to pack up and leave my beautiful state where I've been born, raised, family, friends? Why am I leaving? No, I'm going to go back. I'm going to run for governor in 2018. I'm going to win, and I'm going to change the state. Well, that didn't happen, but that was my plan, and I ran for governor. And when I ran, I learned how corrupt it was, which I did not want to believe. It was shocking how corrupt, how nasty, what a swamp it was. I did not want to believe it was that bad. And then I saw it. And when I got hammered terribly, I still got the 100,000 votes and the ballot access for the state. And I thought, okay, I'm not that mad because now I can build out the party, which I did. And we started growing local affiliates and local victories. We started all that stuff. And then they used the courts to destroy me again. And at that point, I said, now I'm pissed off. Now I'm just angry. And I'm going to run again. And that was where I ran in 2022. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to show them. Then they used the courts again to wreck me in 2022. Now I'm super fucking pissed. So I'm petty too, Kim. I'm as petty as them. I'm just more tenacious. And I want my victory. And I want to run again. And am I punishing myself? Yes. The people on my team, they know this is a swamp. This is a sewer. It's why people run once and then leave. It's full of backstabbing, petty pieces of garbage. Full of it. Consultants, half of them are pieces of garbage. People running, half of them are pieces of garbage. And most of them aren't even that smart. I know, I meet them. Most of them aren't even that smart. At least half of them don't care at all. Now, some of them actually do care. This is the problem, Kim. A lot of them care. Maybe half. And they go in trying to make change. But they don't know how bad it is either. Then they get in and realize, oh, this system's not made to make anything better. This system's made to grift. So then they do one of two things. They go, well, let me keep fighting to make things better. Oh, I can't. All right, I quit. Option 1. 2, we're all grifting, keep grifting. Grifting's a whole lot easier. So many of them become grifters because the system's made for that. So yes. Anyway, that was a very long way of agreeing with you and going, yeah, it's petty. And that's why most people run and then stop and never come back. So Jan says, Curtis Sliwa for mayor, 2025. I like Curtis. I was at an event with him a couple weeks ago. I see him many times. I like him. The problem is, Jan, it's 6-1 Democrat to Republican. That's the problem. It's 6-1. As much as I like Curtis, and I would, if I got a choice over him or Mamdani, I'd rather have Sliwa if I have a choice. But the reality of it is he has no chance. Not because he's bad, not because he's not a good guy, not because of that. Because it's 6-1 Democrat to Republican. That's why it's no choice, no chance. So I'm with you. I'm just being realistic. It can't. So let me walk down here if I can. All right. So many. Wow, you guys going back? I love you guys going back here. Massman out says Kathy's only concern is cheekbone collapse. No, don't do that. I shouldn't have clicked that one. I shouldn't look at that one. All right. Hall Crash says, I was looking to comment on Facebook, but I guess the Facebook notification is asking people to watch on YouTube. Oh, is it? I didn't know that. I don't mind where you watch. My comment is in regard to Trump. Trump would rather Cuomo be mayor. I agree. And here's why, for you guys who don't know. I know, again, this goes back to Republican propaganda. Republican propaganda will tell you, Cuomo's a Marxist, or a communist, or a leftist, or whatever. Not true. Cuomo is a Cuomoist. He's also a deal maker. Kathy is not a deal maker. She isn't as savvy as Cuomo is. Kathy's good at working the system, giving out jobs, better than Cuomo. But Cuomo is actually a deal maker. Cuomo's far more transactional. And Trump knows that. Trump can actually work with Cuomo. Cuomo can work with Trump. That's why Kathy's mad, because she realizes that too. Mamdani is a true believer. He will not work with Trump. It doesn't matter if it harms the city. Just like de Blasio won't work with Trump. Doesn't matter. Mamdani is a true believer. He's an actual leftist. He will say no to Trump on principle. Doesn't matter if it helps the city, hurts the city. He will say no. Cuomo will go, all right, how do I deal with this? Cuomo will make a deal because he's not an ideologue. I'm just being forward. You're right. That's why Trump would rather have Cuomo. To be forward, I think Hochul would rather have Cuomo in a way. I think in reality, if Hochul had a choice, she'd actually rather have Adams. I'm serious. She can put him in a box. She already controlled Adams. He's already weak and in trouble. She can puppet him, and he'll make deals with Cuomo that she can act like she hates when he makes deals. So I think if she had her choice of the people, I think she'd pick Adams. That I don't know that. I don't have information. That's my view on what she would rather have. So yeah, Trump would rather have Cuomo. Of course. Maybe Adams, but Adams is hurt. See, Cuomo could. The problem is Adams is wounded. So is Cuomo. But if Cuomo wins, he's re-energized and he's a tough guy again. And him and Cuomo can make deals and both can claim victory. Right? They'll both claim victory. That's the issue. So yes. Andrea says pay to play. It is indeed. Yes, it is indeed. So yes. All righty. Where is this here? Andrea says, Stephanie, I think you mean Stefanik needs to steal some policies from the Sharpe way. She can just go to LarrySharpe.com and check all Larry Sharpe's policies. You can do that if you want to. You know that all my policies are on LarrySharpe.com. If any of you care, you can just go there. There we go. You can just go there. It's that simple. Speaking of that, for those of you who do care, if any of you do want to go there, you can. This Saturday, I'm having a Larry-thon. This Saturday, but here's the thing I want to be very clear with you guys. Very clear. If you look at the Larry-thon that I'm having this Saturday at 2 p.m., it is not for the Sharpe way. It is for my political endeavors crossing New York State. If you would like to support my political endeavors crossing New York State, if that's you'd like that, a separate issue, not Sharpe way, head on over this Saturday, 2 p.m., to all the Larry Sharpe properties, like Larry Sharpe YouTube, Larry Sharpe Facebook, Larry Sharpe X. It'll be on those. Check it out. I'm having some fun people show up. Chrissy Mayer, the awesome comedian, will be there. Spike Cohen will be there. Maj Touré, #1 Second Amendment guy, will be there. So lots of cool people will be there. Please show up if you can. 4 hours, 2 through 6, live. I'll be there. Come on by. That is to support Larry Sharpe running across the state in New York. That's what that's for. Not Sharpe way. Be clear. Two separate things. I'm going to check my policies out, which you asked. I know you asked about the policies. If you want to know about that, that's not Sharpe way. That is LarrySharpe.com. Two separate entities. Just for clarity. Just for clarity. So awesome. All righty. Keep walking down that road if I can. All right. Let's go here. There we go. And like Liberty says it right there. Looking for Larry Sharpe policies, go to LarrySharpe.com. While you're there, sign up for email updates. There we go. Yes, that is separate. That's LarrySharpe.com, not the Sharpe way. But I'm happy if you guys want to go check me out. Please feel free. Yes. Kim says, smash the like button or you're in love with Kathy Hochul. True. Hit the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. That is the button to hit. If you hit that button, you're not in love with Kathy Hochul. See? If you don't click it, you are. Why do you love someone who is that way? Why do you love someone who's destroying New York State? Why do you hate New York State? Why? Hit the button. Here's your way of redemption. You can redeem yourself. How? By sharing this or reposting this someplace. If you share this someplace like on X, or if you share it on YouTube, or if you share it on Facebook, if you repost it into a Facebook page, something like that, you are redeemed. See that? Redemption can be yours with a simple share or repost. It is possible to come back and to redeem yourself from your sins. You can share, repost. It's that simple. You can do it. Yes. Ymir says, Larry Sharpe for governor of New York. Yes. That's amazing. I appreciate that. Matt says, left and right both suck. This whole my side, their side shit is so dumb. The problem with it is it's easy to do. When you do that, it becomes very easy to do. So yes. Rona says, I was wondering if it'd be okay to promote other podcasts here. I absolutely promise I would not spam, but asking if I could post someone you may or may not be familiar with, but might enjoy. People do all the time. I don't care. I don't care. But I hope you guys can watch me. But yes, I don't care. Just repost this in theirs. Even easier. Yeah. Oh, good. Phil says, my dad went to some of her early fundraisers. She was a Bush staffer. So she had spent at least 10 years in D.C., came back to a Republican-leaning district with cash from D.C., then went back. Yeah. Stefanik is much more about, she's much more of a D.C. politician. That's why she isn't that good at the glad handing locally, right? She's not that good of a local glad handing politician. I'm better than I like meeting people. I like being out there, right? I enjoy, pressing the flesh. I enjoy retail politics. A lot of people don't. She does not enjoy that. She'd rather be doing stuff in DC and stuff. And that's why she hitches her wagon to certain people. Stefanik doesn't really like it very much. Cuomo used to. Once he got to a certain point, he didn't like it anymore. He didn't like it. Mamdani loves retail politics now. We'll see if he does. Used to also AOC. Not anymore. Who still does? Woman here who also is in my district. How can I forget her name? Shame on me for that. I had it. Wow. Can't believe I forgot her name. That's bad. Hold on. I really should remember. And I talk about her all the time. Oh, I just went blank. Man, I'm not sleeping well enough. I can't. Tiffany Caban. There we go. Thank you. Wow. I can't believe I forgot that. Tiffany Caban is my city councilman. She still likes retail politicking. I will still see her out by like the CVS talking to people. Like, I got to give her credit. She's also a DSA member. I know, like everyone in my area is DSA member. But that or not, she does like retail politicking and still is out there meeting. I can see her in my neighborhood. I will see Tiffany Caban in my neighborhood. She still does it. I give her that. The woman she's still busting her ass. I will give her that. So, yes. John has two things to say about Elise. Elise is nothing more than empty promises, wearing high heels. She is more Israeli than she is New Yorker. You're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. So, yes. John says also St. Lawrence. Yes, also St. Lawrence. Yes, but if I remember right, it's St. Lawrence. Oh, you're looking at it. How are you looking at it? It'd be St. Lawrence, and then here. No, yeah, St. Lawrence, and then here would be here. There we go. All right, I'm done reversing it where you are. St. Lawrence, and then would be Jefferson, and then Lewis. I think that's right, if I remember it correctly. I'm trying to remember this. So yes. Oscar Yan is back. Larry, you can survive one day in Africa with capitalist companies. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You just like taking dumps on capitalism all the time. It's not working, dude. I mean, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for the back and forth, but I don't know where you're going with this. I'm not sure where your head is on this one. But I guess good. I guess okay. Let's see. I can do that here. Let's see here. Dave says, where is Watertown compared to Lewis County? Watertown is in Jefferson. It is Jefferson and Lewis County are adjacent. So when I go from Watertown to say Lawville is one of the larger towns, and Lewis County has only maybe 28,000, I think, people in the entire county. It's not a very large county, but I mean, compared to other New York State counties, that's not so bad. Maybe 28,000 people in the county, and 30,000 maybe. Watertown is probably an hour away, 45 minutes from, maybe an hour from Lawville. So Lawville's in Lewis County, Watertown's in Jefferson County, probably about an hour away. So, and Watertown is northwest of Lewis County of Lawville, northwest. I think that's right. Yeah. I know my state. I mean, I know my state. I travel it. I know my state. And people always ask that. So yes. Phil's, I think Watertown, Lewis County. No, Watertown is in Jefferson County. Lawville is in Lewis County. There's a couple of places there, but that's, yeah. There we go. John says, yeah, Watertown. Watertown's Jefferson County. Yeah, it is. Yep. So it's all right. You're not supposed to know, Phil. I'm the guy who travels the state. I'm supposed to know, right? That's it. I'm supposed to know. It's okay if you don't know. I'm not mad at you. Totally fine if you don't know. I'm supposed to know. I should know. If I don't know, it's a problem. So yeah. All righty. Let's see here. Okay. There we go. John says, oh, good. I should know because I visited Larry in Watertown last year. That's true. John comes to a lot of my events, by the way. John's been to at least 5 of them, probably more. He's been to a bunch of my events. He shows up a lot. I appreciate that, guys. I say it all the time. Showing up matters. John does it. I appreciate it every time. There's a couple of times John showed up. It's been just me and him. It's true. Yeah. So we have dinner together. That's it. All depends. My events are so random. I'll have an event where 1 or 2 people show. Another event, I'll have 15, 20 show. Another one, I have 35 show. Another one, I have 2 show. Then 7, then 8. If you guys see the pictures, sometimes it's like 20 people. Sometimes it's like 2. I never know. I never know what's going to show up. And I don't care. I'm there to show up. That's what matters. So that's how it works. I want to be there. And that's what matters to me. So, all righty. Kim asks, when is the election? It is this November, 2025. Yes, this year. Absolutely. All righty here. Let me grab a couple more of these. Oh, there's something I want to do here. We've been talking about what Mamdani's doing. Free buses, the rent, all those things he's trying to achieve. Here's what I'd like to do if you don't mind, guys. You do know that there is another sponsor to the show, and that is the Advocates. Do me a favor when you have a second. click the link that is actually in the description, and Facebook and YouTube, Rumble. Click that link. When you click that link, it takes you to the advocates. I want you to click that link specifically. Why? Because that link lets the advocates know it comes from me. Click that link, head on over, and read one of these articles. There are so many articles here. If you look to up top, see, you'll see it says articles. Find this article here: Housing Costs, Regulations, and the Promise of Reform. It talks about housing. This is what a big issue. This is what Mamdani is going to fix by freezing the rents. How is that going to work? Check this out and then read this article. When you're done reading this article, if you like it, if it makes sense, if you think it's interesting, then share it. Read the article and then share it. Use the same link if you don't mind. Share it and then put the same link that they use there so someone else can come and they can read it. Share the article, and even if you don't like it, say this article was dumb. Christos is a dummy. I don't like him. Whatever. Fine, do that. But share it anyway so that people come here. Why? I want people talking about this stuff. I want people talking about this stuff. The more we talk about it, the more we'll figure it out, the more we won't have to fix it, and won't just believe anything that somebody says. I don't want people just believing randomly, well, Mamdani says it, or even Malay says it. I mean, Malay's right. Doesn't matter. Mamdani says it or Malay says it, and now it's right. I want to be able for more people in America to understand what actually works and what doesn't work. That's what matters. So please head on over there, the Advocates for Self-Government. Check out this article. Share it. If you like it. If you don't like it, you share it and just say it's bad. But if you like it, even better. Share it and let other people see it. More conversations, more talking. That's how we fix this country. So guys, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Please check it out if you can. It's very helpful. All right. Let me keep walking into some of these roads if I can. All righty. Also says war companies are the worst. True. You're not wrong. It's true. I think the military industrial complex is one of the worst parts of America. I would agree. And one of the worst reasons for it is, some of you don't know this. We don't buy things for the military industrial complex. We don't. We fund things. Well, what's the difference? Okay. And the way it should work is company makes something cool, whatever that cool thing is. They've tested it. It works. It's good. Government goes, we could use that, and government buys it. That'd be amazing. That's not what happens. What happens is scientists say, I got this idea. It's not tested, nothing, but it could work. Hey, government, would you fund it? And government goes, okay, and gives it billions of dollars. Why it's always doesn't work, and it's always over budget, all those things, but it doesn't work. So you got to fix it now. Well, who's going to pay for it? Well, the government is. The government's already sunk X billions of dollars into it. You throw it away now. So I got to put more money into it. Yeah, that makes it even worse. And then once the government pays for it, now that company can now sell it in the government paid for all the R&D for to some other country. Yeah, that's how our system works. It's terrible. No, if you're a company, do the R&D yourself. Build something worth a damn, and then the government should buy it if it needs it after you built it. No. The government does the R&D for you, and then you sell to other countries to make money. That's how it actually works. You are correct. Yeah, I agree with you. See, I knew we could find some place that we agreed. See that? I love that. I love that. So good. All right. Let me grab some more of these. Shelly says, Hochul only cares about Hochul and her agenda. True. And that's the part that matters. Yes. Pete says that female canine only loyal to herself, not to New York. Also true. I think that's obvious. I wouldn't call it a female canine piece, but yes. I think that is true, though. Yes. All right. Let's see here. John says, Javier Malay owns the company, the Commies episode. Oh, yes. You know what? Maybe I should. I did one on Malay a while ago, almost a year ago. Maybe it's time for another one. Recently, though, his stuff has been slowing down. His successes have been slowing down recently. Maybe I'll wait like 6 more months to see how he gets around that and maybe do a show on that. I'm starting to think about that. Maybe. It's not a bad idea. You're making me think, John. Maybe I should do that. Yeah. Kim says, I miss We Fix It Wednesdays, Larry. Maybe I got to come back and do it again. Maybe I will. I Am says, stopping by to give y'all a big howdy from Texas. How's everyone doing tonight? And Matt responds with, yeehaw, partner. Yeehaw. Yeehaw, partner. Clearly, I'm not Texan. That did not go over well. So, yeah. Anyway. All righty. Let me grab some more of these if I could. All righty. Joel says, I'm reading Dem posts. They are suddenly very pro 1A. I don't know where they were for the past 10 years. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Well, they were planning to shoot a guy with initials CK. They were doing that. So, yeah. Yeah. Everyone seems to be pro 1A when it's their guy, right? When my guy is getting fired, when my guys, then all of a sudden it's like, yeah. Rick says, Hochul is a Cuomoist without any Cuomo loyalty. True. Yes. John says, you should have beaten Bill Weld. I told them all that. They didn't listen to me. I told them that I would have been there. Imagine how popular I would have been in 2016 had I been the VP that day. I probably could have won a 2020 push. How much money we could have raised? How powerful the party would have been? What could I have done in New York State, John, if I had had that popularity? Yes. Libertarian Party has screwed up so many times. So many times. They don't listen to what I'm telling them to do. They got to stop. You got to listen to me. I'm right. Damn it. They should listen to me. But, they do what they want. All righty. Liberty says, and the asshats online who want to give grief to Larry are just behind the computer and don't do a fraction of what Larry does in the trenches. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And I keep trying. Yes. Cody's in the house. How are you, my brother? The Democratic machine already decided she's not going to be the gubernatorial, and she knows that it's her revenge. Antonio Delgado will be the candidate. Oh, is that right? You got some inside knowledge, Cody. Cody was instrumental in me even having a chance at getting on the ballot in 2022. Sadly, we got our ass kicked in the courts. That wasn't Cody's fault. But no, he was hardcore behind me when a lot of people had given up on me in 2022. Cody did not. So thank you for that, Cody. I appreciate your you being behind me when a lot of people were not. So yes. I guess you have some inside information. I have not heard this. I have heard the opposite, that Delgado is not going to be the candidate, that Hochul is still great and going to make this happen. So that'd be interesting. I'd be surprised. Maybe that's true. Maybe Cody has some info I don't have. Now I got to start seeing if I can find some. So yeah, we'll see. K. John, how are you? Says, Larry, from a woman's perspective, you do it because you have love and compassion in your heart. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. And mind and care about your fellow human beings. That is everything I wanted in a leader. Oh, I like that. I'm going to say you're right. That sounds amazing. Yes. All right. Nico says, all right, let's make this one quick. We got a Bills game to watch. Hochul did this for herself. Might actually help fast track some of his platforms. We can count on the National Guard in New York City for 26 gubernatorial. Really? Oh, God, I hope so. Yeah. All righty. John says, it's why after 2022, I wouldn't blame you for not wanting to run again. Yeah. Yes. So, K. John says, plus you're so damn good looking. True. Also true. K. John, you got all the right stuff today. You win the internet tonight. I love that. Phil says 2022 was brutal. It was painful. It was brutal. Yes. Yes. And I was considering saying it's over. It's over. We're done. But somehow I'm still here, Phil. I haven't left yet. I don't know why, but yes. Phil goes on to say it was really tough when we lost ballot access. A lot of statewide organization crumbled as well. True. Everybody was just so demoralized of losing ballot access in 2020. Yes. The Libertarian Party of New York struggled, which is why I'm giving Cody the shout out. Cody could have walked away. A lot of libertarians did. Cody could have walked away, but he wasn't. He was sitting in the hotel room with me. It's a true story. Counting up signatures the day we had to put them in. Cody was there doing photocopying. I'm not making it up. Yes, Cody was there. People could have walked away. Cody could have walked away. He did not. So kudos to him for holding on and trying to make that work. We did try. So yes. Robert says, Larry, do you think it's a mistake to believe that leftists will take conservative cancel culture lying down? I don't see how any of this ends well. Left will take conservative. Well, yes. Well, yes, I think how are they going to stop it? Right? This is the problem. The most, I have to use the phrase, I don't know how else to use it, the most woke part of the left, and that's not all left, obviously, but the most woke part of the left was literally the most cancel culture of all. They were the most cancel culture from 2015 or so on, about that time frame, whatever year it would be in that area. They were super cancel culture on everything. Now to take it back, what are they going to do? Their only answer is cancel culture again. And they've been trying to cancel. But if you've noticed recently, Rob, in the past 2-3 years, for sure, last 2 years, people aren't being canceled anymore on the right. They're like, we don't care. The most wokest left have called everybody the not see and the fastest, all of those things so many times, and the other ist and the other phobe so many times that the right doesn't care anymore. It doesn't mean anything. It's a badge of honor. It has no value. The words mean nothing. So the canceling doesn't matter anymore, right? That's the issue. It doesn't matter anymore. So because of that, they're basically uncancelable in many cases. The right, in many cases, is no longer cancelable. But the left hasn't been through this yet. So the left will now go through this for a while. Eventually, the left will also become uncancelable. Cancel culture eventually goes away at one point. But now the left will go through it, and they'll be getting canceled for a while. You'll see that this is the same that was happening to the right. If you go back, I'm saying the right. That may not be accurate. What I'm going to say is the establishment, the non-establishment was being canceled because some of the left was also being canceled. So I don't want to give that up. Some of the left, the non-establishment left was also being canceled back then. It was heavily the right, but it was also the non-establishment left. And when it came to the wokest part, socially woke, the socially left was even punished in the economic left, if you remember, right? The economic left was being punished, and they were being canceled too. It was only the socially left that were being okay. Now we're from the opposite happening now. So, Charlie Kirk has his death, his assassination has spawned this. And if you remember, Robert, if you were watching that show, what did I tell the left to do after Charlie Kirk was assassinated? People laughed at me. I said, just shut up. Say nothing. Let the right grieve. Just shut up. I get it. You don't like Charlie Kirk. You think he's a bad guy. I understand. Shut up. Let them grieve. Don't jump on this train. And the left said, we don't care because we're unstoppable. We're into this. And look at them all begin to fall. They should have just shut up. I was right again. I said, just be quiet. Let the right grieve. Shut your mouth. Go do something else. Ignore it. Wait a month or 2 or 3. And then talk about how bad Charlie Kirk was or whatever. You're going to say it anyway. But say it after the right has grieved. Then it's just a regular fight. It's a regular, you're bad, I'm bad, whatever. It's back to the same old shit. Fine. You do it now. And the left wouldn't stop. So what can the left do? What they haven't already done? Try unaliving people? They're already doing that. Try to cancel people? Can't. Those days are long gone. What option do they have? They have no defense. That's the problem. There's no defense. The people have you seen how they're getting slaughtered all over the place? Not physically. It's not doing well. It's an excuse to fire people. So yeah. Pete says, Cuomo, better the devil you know. Am I right? I think some people believe that. I mean, I don't, but I do think people believe that. Yeah. So, yeah. All righty. Let's see here. Phil says they knew after 2020 that New York was going to have an uphill battle for ballot access, and National Party should have been working for 2 years, not after the national election in 2022. Yeah, I agree. And they completely screwed me over, Phil. They weren't fighting for me. They blew me off completely. And I was their hope. And they were like, well, we don't care anymore. We're mad because we want a virtue signal more than anything else. Right? That's it. So, all righty. Let's see here. I forgot. Michael says keto-driven amnesia. Start there. Keto's perfect. Keto's magic. Don't say that. So yes. All righty. Let me grab this one. That was good. That was good. I got that one already. There we go. Phil says Liberty Lady's nemesis, Angela McCarthy article, was very good about releasing the funds ASAP when she became chair. I got to be fair. People don't like this, and it's going to trigger D for sure. But Angela was actually better to me than the chairs before. She was. The chairs before got mad at me after I resigned from the. Some of you may not know this. This is a story back in the day. I was trying to help out after the Gary Johnson campaign. So I actually joined the LNC. I was on the LNC as a Region 8 rep. And at the time, the vice chair was a guy named Arvind Vora. I don't have a problem with Arvind anymore, but Arvind Vora was a hardcore libertarian. And he then announced publicly, as the vice chair of the Libertarian Party, he announced that all veterans are murderers. I'm not joking. He announced it. They might go, Larry, that's crazy, blah, blah. And what I said was, look, we're libertarians. You can have that opinion. I don't like that opinion. I think it's wrong and incorrect. I said, but you can have it. You just can't have it and openly as the vice chair of the party. That, by the way, Libertarian Party is full of veterans, particularly Marines, full of veterans, because many veterans who get, feel terrible about the war they've been fighting, the war on terror, come to the Libertarian Party. It's a common thing. Trying to fight for liberty, realize they're not, come back for liberty here in the party. Common thing. As you can't have that publicly. So please either recant that and issue an apology, or step down and keep it. You can have that opinion. You can. I'm not against the First Amendment. You can have it, but you can't have it like then. And they were like, well, no, you can't say that. He's right of free speech. Not when you take up a voluntary position on the board of an organization. If I agree to be on the board of Pepsi, I may not say veterans can't drink Pepsi. I may think that's true, and I can have that opinion that veterans are not deserving of drinking Pepsi. I can think that. I can't think that if I'm on the board of Pepsi. So I either have to not say that while I'm on the board or step down from being on the board of Pepsi. It's voluntary. Either of those will work. If I'm on the board, I have responsibility that I've voluntarily taken. So my argument was, if you are on the board, you may not say that on the board, which he was the vice chair. And I did that with him. I called him up and told him, dude, can you just not do that? No, it's true. Don't care. I'm holding on. So I made it public after I called him. I didn't go online. I called him personally. He told me to go to hell. So I made it public. Hey, guy, could you please do it? Tell everybody, triple down. No, they're all murderers, blah, 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 all murderers. People say they don't all shoot people. He goes, okay, great. Accessories to murderers. I'm not joking. That actually happened. 2017. So then I make it official. And I asked the LP board to remove him. And you would think, well, easy. They will all vote to remove him, right? No. It was a tie. And one person had to break that tie. You know who that person was? For those of you who know libertarian politics, you'll know. And that person was Nick Sarwark. He was the chair of the party. The chair of the party voted to keep him. He stayed. I went, okay, and I resigned. Nicely, I resigned. So at that point, lots of people in the LP hated me. They were mad that I ran against Bill Weld, even though I was right. And they were mad that I walked away from that. And ever since that, many of them at the senior level of the Libertarian Party were mad at me. Not joking, they were mad at me. 2018, I run. I get very little help from the Libertarian Party. The national. The state party was awesome then. Recently, those of you may not know, we had 2018, we did very well, and the party helped us tremendously. The Libertarian Party of New York was amazing in 2018. They weren't broken like they were by the time 2022 came. Libertarian Party was broken from 2020. Phil's correct. Prior to that, they were not. They were motivated, and they went out of their way. Jim Rosenbeck was the chair at the time. He passed away just this year. It was challenging for him. He passed away just this year. He helped tremendously. And with him and others, Libertarian Party got me over 16,000 signatures. And we only had 15,000 then. And plus we had paid petitioners. It was great. rocking and rolling. After that, the Libertarian Party liked me. And then all of a sudden, I wanted to run in 2020. And then, not for president. I wanted Judge Jim Gray to be the nominee in 2020. Why? Jim Gray had money and cash and a name, and I thought was going to do it, be a full-time guy, and wanted my plan. My plan to run was not a 50-state plan. It was a local plan that then grows. That's how you get 5%, sets the party up in a terrible time. And of course, what happened? The Libertarian Party didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to me. I said, I'm running for the VP slot. I will support the judge, but only if he wins. If he doesn't, I'm walking away. They went, no, we'll get Larry anyway. And I said, no, you won't get Larry anyway. I'm not here to run a useless race for VP to get nothing and to waste my time, money, and energy and be brutalized for nothing. No, I will run for purpose or I'm not running. No. They all thought I just wanted power or whatever they thought. I guess I don't know what they thought. I want power. Like running for VP is all of a sudden powerful and Libertarian, but I don't know how that works. But anyway, that was what I was going to do. They didn't pick Judge Jim Gray because virtual signal or whatever. They picked Joe Jorgensen, who was a part-time candidate and wanted a 50-state run. So I said, I don't want that. So I dropped out. They were mad at me for dropping out. You should have supported Joe Jorgensen. Why? It was a shitty campaign. I'm not trying to be mad. It's just true. Now they got Spike Cohen. I'm happy I dropped out. Spike is amazing. Spike made his bones because he ran as VP for Joe Jorgensen. Best move I could have made was putting Spike up there. Spike's killing it now. Getting victories like every week. Knocking it out of the park every week, making victories. So I'm glad I dropped out. Spike got to step up and do great stuff. Right? But that failed. They're mad at me for that too. So now 2022 comes and I need help. They're semi-mad at me, semi-not. To be forward, you will care about virtue signaling more than anything else. Every single chair prior to Angela, you might not know this, D, because I know D's probably mad right now, never called me. Never called me. I was one of the most popular libertarians in the country. Wouldn't call me. Don't call Larry Sharpe. The hell with that guy. Politics is petty. Petty. Angela still calls me. Called me back then. Called me when she won. Still calls me. You guys can be mad at her all you want. She at least gave me respect. At least he called me. Give me respect. Nikela calls me too. Steve Nikela does call me. So the new chair now does call me. We do talk. That's good. Before that, never will call me. Anyway, just little details here. Oh, that little D's like, Phil's trying to trigger me. Yeah, I'm just saying it's true. That's what actually happened. I'm giving you the actual stuff. That's what I give you guys inside baseball when I have it. Like sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. But yeah. So, all righty. All right. I'm going to grab some of those here. All right, that's good. There we go. All right, we grabbed all those. You guys go back and forth a lot. So yes. Andrea says, the industrial military complex should make personal tanks. I agree. Why do we tell them what they can and cannot make? I agree. Yes. Phil says, Bill Weld endorsing Hillary Clinton last minute was aggravating. It was devastating for us. It was devastating. It was one of the hardest things for us. It was devastating. So yes. Joel says, Cody won't give up. He didn't give up. He did not give up. Yes. Phil, thank you for the $2. Cody needs another kudo and bourbon. Love him. Yeah. He didn't give up. He could have. He could have been like, Larry, I'm out. He did not do that at all. Look, what you just saw is you're seeing right now Phil doing a super chat. If you want yourself to go to the front, you can. Super chat me on YouTube if you want to, or rant me on Rumble, either one. That helps support the show. Super chat me, get your stuff right to the front. I respond to them right away. And you can do it on Rumble or on YouTube, either one. It does support the show. But not just that, I try to also get members. You can become a member very easily. See, Phil's a member. You can do that by clicking join. $49 per month is what it gives you membership. Membership gives you multiple things. One, you can send me stuff. The stuff the video that I did yesterday, that I talked yesterday, someone sent me, believe it or not, yes. And you can send me things that I can look at and review, or you can also come on the member show. There'll be another membership show probably coming up next month. You will physically be on the show with me. We just had one a couple weeks ago. Kind of cool. You guys can all watch a fun show. And also, I try my best to get member comments first and to not skip them whenever I have to go skip. I can zip through sometimes, quickly get past stuff. I try to grab members first whenever I can. So become a member if you like. It's helpful. I appreciate it if you can do so. Thank you. All right, grab some more comments if I can. All righty. Shelly says, RFK doesn't have ballot access in New York. So that is supposed to make it okay to take away your ballot access. So I've been told by the left. Yes. That they do say that. Yes, they do say that. 100%. Yep. All righty. Ken says, what? Larry was right? Why am I not surprised? Shut up and let them grieve. It is slightly humorous, though, to watch them squall after using the same tactic against those who use speech they didn't like. Correct. Yes. That's the piece, Ken, right? Be human. Let people grieve. I know a lot of people on the left hated Charlie Kirk. I get it. I'm not blind. I understand it. But a whole lot of people on the right and independents loved him. So let them grieve. He was murdered in front of his family. Why do you got to be a jerk? Well, one of the reasons why I showed you that thing last night shows you exactly why. A lot of people watch guys like Kyle from last night, who all he does is insult. Insult. And I do a joke, which is within the first minute of every single Kyle Glenski show, he's an insult. That one was 29 seconds. First minute, was an insult. Yes. You could just let people grieve. You could just let people grieve. It really is okay. It really is okay. I know you didn't like the guy. If you're on the left, you didn't like him. Okay. Just say nothing. Just say nothing. Let it go. Deal with it later. Right? Just deal with it later. So anyway, let me keep going down here if I can. All righty. Liberty says, I know this liberal who is telling people to vote for non-MAGA business for the annual best of the city businesses for this year. Oh, non-MAGA businesses. Oh, yeah, that's what matters. Not whether you're actually good at your business. No, whether you're MAGA or not, because that's more important. Wow. Yes. All righty. Liberty says, my issue with MAGA McKingmaker was her BS video that she had pinned to her media about Chase Oliver. Also, her new video about the 2028 candidate needs to drop out and support whichever. Yeah. I'm not saying that her tactics are correct. I'm saying from a personal point of view, for those of you who don't know, I'm one of the best fundraisers, libertarian fundraiser in the country. I raised over $200,000, maybe $250,000 for Gary Johnson in 2016. In one night, I raised over $100,000. I've raised money for like California. I've raised probably $100,000 more for California's LP. I've put six figures in New York State LP more than once. Right? I raise money. You're the chair of the LP. You won't call me. Angela at least was like, Larry, can you raise money for me? I said yes. And I raised money for her more than once. I did the same thing. She said, can you come down? And she wanted me like, oh, we got this thing going on in DC. Can you MC it? Yeah. I'll come down. Literally get in the train, go down, MC it. She had me fly to California once to do something for some Mises Caucus thing. I said, okay, I'll come. People wonder, Larry, why'd you help Mises Caucus? Because they asked. And to be forward, I asked, before it was the CLC, it was the Pragmatic Caucus. For those who don't know, this is inside baseball, libertarian stuff. The Pragmatic Caucus before it was CLC. I asked them, you want my help? They said no. No. They were still mad at me. They said, well, why would you help the Mises Caucus? Because he asked. That's the reason. If you ask, I'll help you. And people who know me, it is rare if libertarians are in trouble that I won't help if they ask. It's very rare, right? Nikayla asked me to go out and raise money in Michigan. I went to Michigan and I raised money because he asked me to. That's the reason why. Go to Florida. I went there because he asked me to. That's why I did it. That's simple. That's simple. It wasn't anything else. Pietro, how are you? He says, Vora was a disgrace. Yeah, he wasn't great. Actually, the funny part is, we were in, I debated him on this issue in Rhode Island about maybe two months after, maybe give or take. We both went to the Libertarian Party of Rhode Island, and I was there and debated him. And one of the things because he was tripling down, quadrupling down. And I said, let me tell you why you are completely wrong. Not just what you're saying and why you're saying it, but you're actually wrong. I said, in every single country in the world, every civilization in the world, what's the difference between things like assault and murder and manslaughter and all the what's the difference? He goes, what's the difference? He goes, well, intent. I said, exactly. I said, are you telling me that every military member who joins, their intent is to go kill people? He went, I said, you know it's not true. Well, no. I said, what's the intent of most people, the vast majority of people who join the military? She's like, well, they think they're defending their country and like attack. Yes. So their intent is to assist and help and defend their country. Now, some aren't, some have other reasons, but the vast majority join because they want to support their country in some way, shape, or form, right? Most of them do. Going to be a Marine, defend freedom, whatever, right? Most people think that, right? So how can it be murderers? He actually got quiet. You know who was there who saw that, by the way? Matt Welch from Reason Magazine. He was there that day. He watched that. He saw that debate. So that's my witness. That's my witness. He was there. He saw that debate. I think 2018? 2017. What, something like that. That was so yes. So I was able to shut him down in debate. So yes. All righty. Phil says the caucus wars were so destructive. Yep. I have a little bit of compassion for Angela just because I think her personality had a lot of people step away and leave her, including Mises. Yeah, look, one of the things about it with her is she was, because of the war, she was put in a bad spot. That's true. I think that part is true. So yeah, that is something there. I would say that. So yeah, I would say that's true. Yes. Phil says Spike came to New York during COVID lockdowns. Yes, he did. Shelley goes, Spike's one of the best. He is. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. So that was awesome. Browner says, thank you for another enjoyable discussion. Guys and gals at the run. See you tomorrow. Liberty says tomorrow's AMA. Tomorrow is AMA. Ask me anything tomorrow, guys, 7 p.m. So yes, please. Yes, absolutely. So Smite says, I understand why you might not want to. If you like, can you address the Israeli conspiracy theories? Well, that's pretty broad because there's lots of them. I'm assuming you mean the one for Charlie Kirk. I'm assuming that. I don't know that you. That's an insanely broad question. I mean, conspiracy theories are out for Israel. Bazillions of them. I'm assuming that one. I do not think that was the reason. I don't. It could have been. I mean, it's possible. I don't think so. There are far more people who are more influential, who are saying more negative things about Israel than him. And some from the right. Right? I mean, Candace Owens has been doing a lot of that negative stuff for Israel. So I don't think that was true. Don't get me wrong. Could it be? Every other conspiracy theory we see winds up being true. But if I had to guess, my guess would be that is not a real one. I don't think that's true. I think it was actually the guy did it because of what he said. That's what I think. I think that's what happened. I do not think it was some Israeli conspiracy. It might have been, but I don't think so. My gut says no. And the reason why is there are far more people you could have taken out who are saying far worse things, who are even more popular, who wouldn't have been such a martyr, who wouldn't have been such a sympathetic personality. That makes any sense. Charlie Kirk is absolutely a martyr. People on the left can't stand it, but it is true. I told you he would be. And he's now being deified. Of course, as is the norm. I can't imagine people not knowing that. Like I knew that. Again, I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. I mean, almost. I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. So other people were like, yeah, if we do that, that would happen. So why would they? Why wouldn't they go for somebody who they could easily smear, who they could call evil or mean, who they could easily and again, for the right, evil and mean. Someone who had turned on the right so that they could punish. Like someone who both the left and the right could both hate. Charlie Kirk was not that guy. The right loves Charlie Kirk. And a lot of independents do also, but the right loves him. You have to find someone from the right who the right doesn't love. So that's why I don't think that's the case. I'm assuming that's what you meant. So yeah. Literally says, Larry got on a plane to come down to Florida to help 3 local libertarian candidates with the last campaign. It's true. Because you asked me. Yes. That's true. Smite says, CLC caucus is better. I don't know why they're mad at you. I haven't really been paying attention to the party in recent years, but I thought CLC was the most logical caucus in the party. I think they were too. They were mad because I went against Bill Weld. They wanted Bill Weld to do better. I was against him. They were mad because I didn't stay in and support Joe Jorgensen. I wasn't against Joe Jorgensen at all. You will never hear me while they're running say a negative thing about any libertarian candidate running. I never do that. I either assist or I say nothing. I know everyone else has to virtue signal and go, she's not good enough. Blah, 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 blah. I don't do that shit. I practice what I preach. I shut up. I did. You cannot find me, impossible, find me saying one bad word about Jo Jorgensen when she was running. Not one. Not one. I never said a bad thing about it. And when she came to New York State, which she did, I supported her. I opened for her and I raised money for her. When she was here, I did so. I never said a bad thing. I knew she was going to be a terrible candidate because her plan was bad. Her plan was the same old dumb plan, and she's a part-time candidate. She was still working. She was still working. She was a teacher still. You can't be a president candidate and work. I didn't say anything when she was running. I kept my mouth shut. Afterwards, I now say, that's a goddamn embarrassment. Shame on you. If you're going to run for president, you quit your job. Well, I got to pay bills. Don't fucking run for president then. When I run for governor, I don't work. I can't. It's how it works. Now, did I say that when she was running? No. I'm not going to try to harm her. I had no reason to harm her, make anything go worse. I didn't. But afterwards, yeah, don't do that shit. It's embarrassing. What's wrong with you? It's an embarrassment. Got a part-time candidate running against two big ones going, I'm going to do stuff. You ain't going to do shit. That was a vanity run. Anyway, I like Chase, but I knew his candidacy were going to work also. Why? Same team, same plan as Jo Jorgensen. Nothing changed. The plan and team didn't work in 2020. It sure as hell wasn't going to work in 2024. But again, you will find me not say one bad thing about Chase. Actually, Chase I actually like. That's there, and people don't like him. I used to like Chase. I think Jo Jorgensen screwed us over by working. That was wrong. She shouldn't have done that. So she was wrong for that. Chase actually didn't work. He actually busted his ass, and he tried his best. I'm going to give him that. He tried his best. He did. He just had the same team and the same plan. It wasn't going to work in Jo Jorgensen 2020. It wasn't going to work for him in 2024. So I just knew that. So I just said nothing. And when he wanted help, I helped him. Otherwise, I'd just let it go because it wasn't going to work. I knew it wasn't. The Libertarian Party has been trying the same plan for 50 freaking years. It doesn't work. My plan that I tried to get Gary Johnson to do that plan in 2016. He wouldn't, but because he had Bill Weld, it was different. I didn't think so. I thought back then, my plan, by the way, is you don't do a 50-state run initially. You start in a small area, focusing all of your forces on one small area or two. From that, when you start to poll well there, polling kicks in, people see it, and you begin to get bigger, and you then expand the entire campaign. That will actually work. I know that I did that in New York State. That's how I got ballot rights in 2018. I started in small towns, began to explode, then moved out from there. It worked. I showed them it is work. They didn't want to listen to me. Jo Jorgensen didn't listen, and neither did Chase Oliver. But I still like Chase. Chase and I get along. He's a good. People say he's not a good libertarian. It's not true. He's totally a good libertarian. That's just people mad because he didn't do well, which is true. I get it. I get why you'd be mad at him because he didn't do well. He didn't listen, and he had the same damn team from Jo Jorgensen and the same damn plan. It ain't gonna work. True, and I will say that. But he's not a bad guy, and he's not a bad libertarian either. He's a good libertarian, good guy. That's just people mad. So yes. All righty. Let me move on here. Mass Manawa says, Kim Iverson's video about the second pew-pewer was quite enlightening. I haven't seen that yet. I saw it pop up on my YouTube. I haven't watched it yet. Okay, I have to now. All right. I got to check one out. Yes. Let me move on here. Robert says, I think you underestimate how creative the left can be when it comes to get back. It all depends on how much the right tries to push this cancel culture, and the left will face off with Trump. I say this all the time, Robert. The left cannot win this battle. Cannot. It is impossible. It is a battle the left cannot win. The left believes it can win. Absolutely. It believes it can win. It cannot. I know both sides very well. In internal fights. Yeah. No, they cannot win. It's not winnable. I know they don't believe me, but it's fine. I'm still right. Yeah. They can't win. So, all righty. Shelley says, Jo Jorgensen ran for coolest professor, not president. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Robert says, to be fair, the left did manage to turn the dial on Israel critiques. That's what I never said. I'm not sure that's true. The Israel critiques changed when the right turned, to be forward. It's when the right began to turn, right? When the Candace Owens began to turn. I think that's when it began to turn. It wasn't the left. The left was always that way. In fact, when the left was doing it, they were getting attacked. It's the right that actually made it happen in that case. Right. I think that's an issue right there. Yeah. Ken says, Johnson Sharpe would have been an awesome ticket. Still love the Feel the Johnson hashtag. That was cool. Yeah. That was cool. I like that. So yes. So guys, I want to ask you if I could. I know I have 1,000 times. I'm gonna keep doing it. Please click the button known as like. Please do so. I know I ask you. It does matter. Something else. For those of you who have not subscribed, I cannot tell you how important it is to subscribe. Subscribing makes YouTube think I'm growing, makes YouTube want to show more stuff. That's important. If you have not head over to Sharpe Way YouTube, please go over there. Whether you're watching on Sharpe Way YouTube or not, I don't care. Go over there, click subscribe, and select all notifications so that you get notified. You have to click all notifications and make sure you're subscribed. It does matter. I'm asking for it. I'm bugging you for it. It's free and it helps. Clicking the like button is free and it helps. Please do so. I know it matters. Don't forget, I have my Sharpe Way Larrython at 2 p.m. this Saturday. If you can, please check that out. Now, after this live is over, do me a favor. Please comment on this after the live. Please comment. I'm going to ask you to comment on very simple question. Do you think Mamdani will win? And why? Do you think Mamdani will win? And why? Do you think he'll win? And why is what I'm asking you to do. Remember, if it's not live, if you watch this like the next day or something, see 2 videos pop up coming up here. Please watch one of them for at least 8 minutes. You know who loves that? Mr. Rhythm, Algo Rhythm. I will see you all tomorrow for the AMA. I will see you all very soon.